This is just so savage, and clearly changing his description on X to Dragon Believer after The View lied about him while trying to do a segment about how everybody should trust them because they're fact-checked all the time. That was not enough petty revenge for Joe Rogan. Nope, not at all. He has gone on to issue another response to them.
We said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us and he won, and this is fucking great. And Joe Rogan believes in dragons.
I'm Jasmine Lane. You're watching Over Opinionated. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already for more epic, savage content like this, where we do actually tell the truth, unlike The View. And speaking of that, I think it's important that we add some more context in case you just want to refresh your memory or laugh out loud a little bit more. This is what The View initially said about Joe Rogan.
People want us divided, and they aren't just here in this country. They're foreign adversaries who are infiltrating our social media because it is prudent for us to stay that way. So when you see something that really pisses you off, you should triple check that one.
Yeah. But I think that that's why people like our show, because they know that we are checked by ABC News. But
we're checked by everybody.
Yeah. I mean, if we're wrong, we have, the legal note here.
The human legal note.
But we went from Walter Cronkite basically to this guy, Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons? He believes in dragons.
Did you triple source that?
Yes, I did. And he also thinks that dragons, like dinosaur-y type of animals, roamed the earth when people did. So this is the type of really, really bad information that's going out there.
Well, in defense, there are some really good news.
It's possible that Donald Trump did roam the earth when dinosaurs were here.
There are some really good news kind of influencer types, and I think it's great that they're getting information about global and current events in front of younger people who maybe don't tune into traditional media. But to Sarah's point, there has to be some fact-checking and actually verification of the things that are shared, because I spend a lot of time on Instagram Reels, and I'm served up things that I get outraged about, and then I realize, oh, that's not even true, but I have the sense to go and look it up. But what I do worry about with this, like the Blue Sky versus X, because a lot of people I follow on X, Twitter, have now left to go to Blue Sky, I worry we're all going into our own echo chamber. So we had this, this election that was tense. Donald Trump won, and the right is going to stay on X, and then the left is all going to be on Blue Sky. How do we try to talk to each other?
The only thought coming to my head while watching this is, how are these women saying this with a straight face? You had Whoopi Goldberg very recently trying to take down a local bake shop because she said that there was some racist or hate reason why they would not give her an order, when in fact it was because they had machines broken. Think about Matt Gaetz as well, all of the horrendous things they have said about him, when if you look into the Matt Gaetz story, it sounds an awful lot like an attempt at extortion. And that's just the last few weeks. Like, do stupid people ever actually realize that they're stupid? Or are you just so involved in this echo chamber that you actually believe yourself? And then the fact that they start off that segment by saying that there's people who want to divide us. Who are those people exactly?
Austin says, hold my beer, and is literally claiming Republican women can't think for themselves.
I think that women, white women in particular, want to protect the patriarchy here because it's to their benefit. Yeah. They want to make sure that their husbands do well. They want to make sure that their sons do well. They want to make sure that their children do well. And they want to make sure that they do well. Most of the women in some of these studies are married white women, and they do fall in line with what their husbands are doing.
And in yet another response to these race-baiting, lying, manipulating, unhinged women, here's what Joe Rogan just said about The View.
I had to read the thing about The View because I just thought it was funny.
What's The
That's
View?
the only reason why I read that about me.
Dragon lover.
Joy Behar was trying to say that I believe in dragons.
Wait, what is this? I just heard about it.
I checked it. And the lady goes, did you double check this? She goes, I checked it. He believes in dragons.
Should be like
Sasquatch,
they
lived alongside of
bitch.
people.
Wait,
it was from a wildlife biologist who came on my podcast. It was from Forrest Gallant. Gallant? How do I say his last name? Great guy. I love him. Yeah. He's awesome. But
Lucky
he was saying there are
fucking off.
J-Mo, let's do it.
Sorry. Jamie, you haven't called anything up.
Forrest's clip where he's explaining dragons.
Now that Jamie looks like a Mexican, he's lazy.
This is where it came from. The View decided from this and from me talking about it with Adrienne Appalucci the other day, explaining what Forrest says and saying that I don't think that there was pterodactyls living with people. I said it, no. She said maybe they did live with us. I'm like, no. I thought my position is it's probably crocodiles or some big Komodo dragon or some big lizard that did kill people.
Touched one.
And so people fought them with swords and shit, and they came back with a story, and then the artist drew it. And these things.
If you saw one of those at night and you had a stick, it'd be like, I thought a pterodactyl.
I thought a picture of Joe Rogan and a unicorn.
All throughout these same time periods, there's been giant lizards. All throughout these same time periods, there have been Komodo dragons, there have been crocodiles have been here for fucking 100 million years or whatever they've been for. Probably more. So the idea that people didn't encounter giant reptiles is stupid. And then there's the other thing is like people were really bad at describing things that they'd never seen before.
Doesn't hold any weight? Like
no,
there was actually dragons?
I mean, we know there were large flying lizards during the times of dinosaurs, right? The only weight that it could possibly hold is that like a few of those somehow survived much later than we previously thought.
Jesus.
But do I think that there were dragons attacking human beings and civilizations? No, I don't.
J.D. Vance looks terrible.
It's so much cooler if there were.
Right.
And like, the fact that we know that pterodactyls did exist, that's cool.
Right.
It would be way cooler as if they existed with people.
Right, 2,000 years ago.
Why is that? But why is that so much cooler to us?
I don't know.
It's like I mean, people would dedicate giant chunks of their life trying to find out if pterodactyls did coexist with human beings.
Oh yeah,
no, I swear, I thought you had pterodactyls on your shirt there, and I was like, yeah, this is the most autistic
that'd be
thing
hilarious.
I've ever seen.
So I think that's a
like,
rhino.
No.
This is the most important part.
I don't know these people.
Hey, this is the most important part. This is right after she was saying, we are run by ABC News. You should trust us, not Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. So she by saying we should trust them because they're double checked by ABC News, and then making the stupidest fucking statement. Like you didn't listen to what I said.
Yeah.
You didn't listen to what the wildlife biologist, and that's only a part of what he said.
I can't believe
the other
Joy
part of what he
Behar
said
didn't
was
weigh-
there was something before that where he was explaining encounters with giant reptiles. And then there's also, listen,
It doesn't make sense to me that a middle-aged woman could be dumb.
when you're worried about losing your job and you're worried about podcasts taking over and who's the source of news, and we said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us and he won, and this is fucking great, and Joe Rogan believes in dragons. It's just frantic. It's
Bro,
foolish.
if you believe that Donald Trump is Hitler and everyone who supports him is a massive racist, and if you are in any ethnic or gay, you need to get the out of this country. Because if you believe all that, it's bad for you here.
But Sunny Hostin, she makes some good points.
Who's that?
She's the other one.
That's not going to clip well.
I'm just saying, like if they really believe this, what are you still doing here?
He really hit the nail on the head there. I used to work in mainstream media up until a few months ago when I left. And I can recount dozens of stories that we had where we would either not be allowed to share what was actually going on in the news, or we would be very heavily condemned if we did after it aired. Joe Rogan is an absolute savage, and Joe Rogan is doing as well as he is because he's having real conversations with real people. And for The View to, in some panic, because they know that all of their jobs are on the line, because all of their tactics to divide people are not working, it's actually just making everybody resent them. It's just like the irony of doing a story where you're talking about how people need to trust you because you are so fact-checked, even though the best friend of Kamala Harris, who introduced her to her husband, is the woman behind The View. The fact that The View, with how racist they are and how many lies they share all the time, to the point where they have to read a legal notice live on air. Like, how is that show still running? Anyway, I'd love to know what you think about Joe Rogan's response to this. Comment your thoughts down below. It's Over Opinionated with Jasmine Lane. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will talk to you very soon.